All right. Hey, folks. Andrew here, Top Fitness Strategies. Welcome. I am the face who runs the place. And if you know me before, you know I'm getting a little behind here because I do everything, I don't want to say on the fly, but that's just the way I work things. And you folks that are watching or listening to this for the first time, welcome. Like I said, I am Andrew, the face who runs the place. Top Fitness Strategies, we're all about the fitness over 50 folks. We make the hard to understand and make it understandable. We take the complicated and make it simple. And we have another interview going on today. And before we get started, I do want to say that I apologize for the light. I didn't take in consideration that 11 o'clock my time a.m. That I have this light coming through, and I'm trying to stop it as much as I can. So sorry for this, but you're not here for me. You're here for my guest today, and my guest is Nate Palmer. And Nate is a fitness and nutrition expert, coach, speaker, and writer who believes that being in incredible shape gives a massive advantage in business, focus, and relationships. He also happens to be a dad, husband, and the number one best-selling author of the Million Dollar Body Method and Passport Fitness. Nate helps business owners and entrepreneurs improve their physique, finances, and family time using fitness and nutrition and force multipliers. And now, what he can add to his bio is he is a guest on Top Fitness Strategies podcast. Welcome, Nate.
Thanks. I don't notice the light at all. You look great, man. I'm excited to be here.
You're one of the few that will say I look great, but I appreciate that. You and my mom will say that. There you go.
She sounds like a smart lady.
So, all right, Nate. One of the things I like to tell people is how we, I don't want to say met, but how we've been acquaintances. I've heard you on a podcast I listen to regularly, Screw the Commute podcast with Tom Antion. And I said, I got to get more in touch with this guy. So I started listening to other podcasts of his, went through one of his webinars, I do believe I went through. And I said, you know what? He and I are so much alike on how we approach things. He is just 1,000 times better at it than I am with his health and fitness stuff. And a lot of the stuff that you talked about is the stuff that I've been talking about for a while. But once again, you're just more eloquent and do it better. So I said, I got to get him on here. And I know I'm rambling, and this is part of the way I do my podcast. I ramble at the beginning. So Nate, tell people about yourself, where you came from, your background, and then we'll start getting into more question and answer stuff.
Cool. Yeah. But first of all, though, like, how great is Tom Antion? That dude is the
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's so good. He's so clear on what he does. He's great. I had him on my podcast. He was a fantastic guest. And then he challenged me actually to put together a product, something like he's got a lot of different products that you can get from his, years and years of experience. So he challenged me to put together a product. So I'm almost finished with what I told him I would get done, called Meal Prep Mastery. So something that I kind of described on the air with him. He was like, you need to put that into a product. And I was like, wow. Okay. So over the past 2 weeks, my wife and I have been in the kitchen filming meals and stuff like that. So we can talk a little bit more about meal prep, but I think we probably are on the same page about that as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm a kind of an ex-personal trainer. I started in the fitness industry in 2008. I opened my own gym in 2011. I went full-time online in 2015, and we kind of been just growing and doing some different stuff ever since. The biggest thing to me, kind of the distinctions for me that I've learned over the past couple of years, and the way my opinions have really changed, is in 2018, I was talking to someone who was basically I need to lose some weight, I need to gain some muscle, but I don't have time for that. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do any of these things. I just need to have more energy for my family. I have a busy job. I'm working all the time. I'm growing my business. But when I get home in the afternoon, I don't have any energy for my family, for my kids.
Okay.
He's like, that's a big problem. I need to fix that. So we kind of went back to viewing nutrition as a way of not necessarily you're too heavy, you need to drop weight, or you're too light, you need to gain muscle. But how do we use nutrition as a way of creating and amplifying energy in your life? So I went back and I did a lot of research and studying on hormonal interactions and blood chemistry and insulin and blood sugars and that sort of thing. We came up with a nutrition plan that basically prioritized a really slow blood sugar release throughout the day, and then a little bit of a bigger one at the end of the day, as a way of moderating your energy. So keeping yourself from having those cravings, or those that tiredness spikes around 10:30, 2:30, 9 p.m. And the results were phenomenal. He came back to me a couple months later and was like, man, my energy is off the charts. I'm feeling really good. I don't have to drink 3 like monsters every single day.
Yep.
And he's like, my kids notice the difference. My wife noticed the difference. It's excellent. I was like, awesome. What's the next step then? He's like, hold up, not finished yet. I've also lost 22 pounds in the last 2 months.
Holy moly.
And I was like, whoa, like I didn't expect that at all. He was eating out 5 days per week. He was having 5 meals, fast food meals every single week that we kind of worked into this program.
But okay, whoa. Stop right there. Stop right there. Wait, are you telling me that this guy you're talking about still was eating 5 meals a day, fast food type meals a day? I mean, a week?
A week, yeah. Every lunch he was eating out at one of 3 restaurants that we picked out for him. He was building a roofing business in Phoenix. Phoenix is massive. You can drive from one side to the other in like 90 minutes. It's like takes forever. Okay. So he was like, I don't have time to like meal prep. I'm not going to like go home and eat. He's like, I'm going to eat out. What can we do? And I was like, all right, here we go. We'll see how we'll see how it goes. And so we created this plan like specific to his like energy needs. And it absolutely blew out of the water all these other plans that I've seen people do for weight loss. And I think it was because we were focused so much on how do you get your body to work at a top level. And and we like more so than like changing his food around and changing like, oh yeah, you have French fries now going to broccoli, which are obviously great things. We changed the question that he would ask before he would eat, which was rather than what am I in the mood for? What sounds good? You know, like that's the question we ask before every meal, right? What sounds good right now? For me, Cinnabon, always Cinnabon. We changed the question to what do I need to do next? How do I need to feel in the next couple hours? What do I want this meal to do for me?
Okay.
So we changed it from a like what sounds like it will taste good to a performance eating question of how do I need this meal to impact me and my body? Okay. And just making that simple shift, I think that took him to kind of a better place with his fitness and nutrition, where he was able to eat foods that served him, helped his energy increase. And all those foods, if you're prioritizing your body's energy, like that's a huge tell that your body's like eating well, eating right, having nutritious food. So that's been like the biggest shift for me kind of in the last, decade and a half of being in fitness. And so I took those kind of like what I had come up with and what we had found about that. And I wrote it up into a book called The $1 Million Body Method. Okay. So, and you went through the webinar on that, which by the way, thank you very much for checking that out.
So, all right. Yeah, I got a gazillion questions here, and I only asked for 30 minutes of your time, so hopefully I can get through some of this. So you speaking of this friend of yours you went through, I'm fascinated by this. So do you have a background in nutrition and body chemistry, stuff like that? Or how did you know what to do for him?
So I have like a background. I have a certification through Precision Nutrition. So I'm not a nutritionist, but I've been working with clients on their nutrition for a long time. Just as a personal trainer, I feel like you spend so much time in the gym with someone being like, okay, change your this and tweak your hips and like let's move your back around and then press with your abs here. Right. But like even my first year or two, I was like, why am I not getting great results? Because all the time we spent in the gym was all focused on training and exercise, which is great. But you can't outrun your mouth. You can't outtrain a bad diet. So like, even though I wasn't like, even early on in my career, I was trying to give people like bad advice. I was like, yeah, just have chicken and broccoli. That's all you need to eat. But we still had to like deal with the nutrition piece because otherwise people weren't going to get the results that they were paying really good money to get. Most people aren't coming to be like, what's the proper shoulder angle for a good push-up? How do I maximize the recruitment of my upper chest fibers? Like, I don't get that very often. People are like, I want to get skinnier. I want to lose weight. I feel bad about myself. So like when I'm like, oh yeah, but we got to do push-ups and we got to do these things and stuff like that, it wasn't necessarily delivering on what they wanted. So I kind of started, even in my first year or two as a trainer, started diving a lot deeper in nutrition because it seemed like that was the biggest indicator of success rather than training really hard or great exercise. Wow.
I 1,000% agree with that. Hey, for those of you just joining us, I am talking with Nate Palmer. He is the author of the $1 Million Body Method and Passport Fitness. And of course, we're talking health and fitness stuff. Okay. I have a tendency to jump around everywhere when I do my interviews and podcasts. So forgive me for that. So
man, you all got to apologize for freezing. You don't have to apologize for jumping around.
Okay.
Andrew, let's go.
All right. So in the interviews I've heard you with in when in the book I'm reading now, you talk about water consumption quite a bit. Now, I bring this up because one of my main things that I tell people all the time is water is the key. And I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian or anything else, but I've learned from an early age that water is the key to the being the healthiest you can be. Now, you have a thing where when I'm reading is right away when you wake up in the morning, you drink water right away. Is
First
that
thing.
am I understanding that correct?
First thing, always first thing. I feel like that, like the first thing you put in your body is get rehydrated after you wake up. You're going to feel a lot better even than just pounding like a big pot of coffee.
Okay. All right.
So I like to, talk about kind of like the benefits of that. But like, I do think that water is just so inherently like unsexy that people are like, yeah. What about the exogenous ketones though? Like what about a juice cleanse? And I'm like, you haven't had enough water in like 7 years. Like, can we just start with the basics, please?
Exactly. I tell folks all the time. They say, well, I don't like the taste of water. I said, so.
It doesn't taste like anything. Just drink
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It doesn't taste like anything. I said, do you like to eat broccoli all day long? Do you like the taste of broccoli all day long?
Yeah.
Drink some water for crying out loud. It takes 10 seconds. Drink it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like my always go to is like I have a glass, I'll go into the kitchen, I'll fill it up, I'll drink the glass, I'll fill it back up, and then I'll take it with me wherever I'm going. Just pound the water. Just drink the water. I don't think about it. People make this stuff too complicated.
Exactly.
Can I put in noon? Can I put in drops? Can you just drink it?
Exactly. Just drink it and shut up. Sorry for the language, but
no more apologies today.
You're right. No apologies. All right. So I get a what I call a water formula, and I didn't invent this. I got this from somebody else. I wish I remember who, but I just don't. You take your body weight, cut it in half in pounds and ounces, and then drink that many ounces of water a day. So in other words, if you're 200 pounds, cut that in half to 100. You should be drinking 100 ounces of water a day. Now you took that more simplistic than I did, and I heard you said, I don't care if you weigh, and I'm paraphrasing here, if you weigh 90 pounds or 390 pounds, drink at least a gallon of water a day. Do you still stick with that?
Pretty much, yeah. And like, yeah, if you're 90 pounds, you probably get away with a little bit less than that.
Right.
But again, I just love this. Like, I love just super simple soundbite types of things because we tend to overcomplicate nutrition. For example, people are always like, well, how much protein should I be eating? And the correct answer is, well, the maximum amount your body can really absorb and use is 0.88 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. Pass. Like, that's math. You're like, we need to make this simpler for people. We need to make this easier for people. We are losing the battle against obesity. Drink a gallon of water and eat 1 gram of protein per pound. That's it. Like, don't stress about it because you're not always going to hit those things. And someday you might get a little bit more. Some days you might get a little bit less. But if we can shoot for those on a daily basis, you're going to be doing so much better than 90% of the population who is not getting enough water or only gets water because they drink a little bit of Sprite on a regular basis.
And I 100% agree with that. So I guess my next question is, how do people know how much gram? I mean, for instance, like if you eat a piece of fruit, how do you know how many grams are in a piece of fruit? I mean, do you always just look it up, or do you just know by just by doing it? How do you tell people what food has
grams of protein, or how many grams of carbohydrates, or just
anything? Grams of anything. Grams of protein, since we're talking about that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, so great question. So generally, like on things like chicken breast or fruit that don't necessarily have like nutrition labels, I would spend some time like doing like a week or two where you track your calories. I'm not a huge fan of tracking your calories on a regular basis. I think it's like monotonous and mind numbing. But I think that to get to the point where you're like, okay, chicken breast, that's about 35 grams of protein. One piece of bread, that's about 19 grams of carbohydrates. Like, and you can have a little bit more of like an idea of what that looks like. Other than that, though, like most things have nutrition facts on them. I think even like if you go to Costco and you get like the chicken and the chicken thighs in the packs, that has nutrition on it, and those are generally pretty good. So I wouldn't stress too much about doing this unless you were like really running into things where you're like, man, I don't even have any idea how to even check this out. I have a scale though that's awesome. It's from Amazon. That has like a booklet. And so in the booklet, it'll be like, okay, put in oatmeal or chicken thighs or whatever it is. And you press in a little like number and then you weigh the thing. And then it spits out a reading of calories, protein, fats, carbs from the weight of the specific food you're eating. So I think that's kind of cool too.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, and I gotta applaud you because once again, you and I are so similar in our approach to all this. I am not a calorie counter at all. I'm like, forget that. And once again, it get too complicated, people aren't going to do it.
Yeah, it's got to be sustainable, right? Like if it's chicken and broccoli all the time, if it's tracking your macros all the time, if it's never eating another carb in your entire life, how are you going to sustain that? You go to Thanksgiving, you just sit there with your arms crossed, your grandma's going to be mad at you.
Exactly.
We don't want Nana to be mad at us. We can't have that.
I come from an Italian family, and if you don't eat during Thanksgiving, what's wrong? You don't like it? What's going on?
No, you're out. You're out of the family. That's how your brother became your cousin. That's right.
Pretty much. All right. So once again, for those that just joined us, I'm talking with Nate Palmer, the author of $1 Million Body Method, and we're talking about nutrition and stuff about fitness. All right, here we go.
All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. On your seminar that I listened to, or your webcast, I should say, you and forgive, don't say that. I didn't write this down. I should have, but I didn't. I have something that I've done in the past. I call the 4 pillars of fitness. And the 4 pillars are mindset, time, nutrition, body shaping. You went through something on your seminar was like a hierarchy of things that you need to, or as I said, you shouldn't say you need to, but a person should do this in a certain stair step method. I forget how you phrase it in your seminar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about the 4 steps that I have, like for nutrition, habits, training, and then momentum.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like blown away. I'm like, holy crap! I've been teaching this for a while as well, and so I wanted to make sure I brought it up to you. So, how did you formulate your 4 methods, your 4 steps?
Failure, mostly. I just feel like I've been doing this so long, Andrew, that I've just kind of stumbled into things that work out. You know, personally, I've tried almost every diet there is out there. I've tried all these these workout regimes and stuff like that. When I first started going online, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm a great personal trainer, or I used to be when I was doing that. Mm-hmm. I was probably one of the better ones you'd encounter in a gym. And I thought that when I would transition to being an online coach, that I was going to walk into being a great online coach. And that was not the case. I was doing the same thing I was doing as a trainer. Here's a workout, go ahead and then do it. And people were not getting results. And I was like, what's going on with that? And then, so I was like, oh, you know what it is? I don't have any videos, got to have videos. So I filmed like hundreds of videos and I put them all in my Excel document. I shipped those out to people and I'm like, all right, do your workouts. And then people still weren't getting results. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, how am I screwing this up? So just basically by doing it wrong and staying at it and trying to figure out and trying to make these little tweaks, I feel like that's kind of how I've fallen into a lot of these ideas, like the ones that from the $1 Million Body Method, this 4-step process that you're talking about. Because originally I would have said, hey, the base is training. We need to exercise, guys. We need to burn calories. But now I understand that we can lose weight. We can get your body to look different. You can get your energy up without training at all. I got people getting great results by just walking and not lifting a single weight. Never have done a Bulgarian split squat in their life, which blows my mind. But so nutrition has to be the base. And so I've even learned this recently because I'm a slow learner. Takes me 5 or 6, 8, 15, 27 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so I'll bring people into my program and they're like, I'm good on nutrition. I got it. And I'll be like, okay, we'll just ascend you from the phase 1, which I normally do with everybody, right into phase 2 or phase 3. Okay, no problem. And those people invariably fall off. They don't get good results because I didn't make them go through the nutritional strategies on the bottom position to lay a strong foundation. And I let them do what they thought was best, which is obviously not worked out for them before. Mm-hmm. And so I do this. I've done this a couple times, even recently. And I've been like, why did I do that? Why did I let someone go through the process without laying this foundational piece? And it doesn't serve them. Obviously, it's not good for me either. I don't want people going through my program being like, it didn't work for me. That's bad for business. So it's consistently failing forward is how I've come up with a lot of these strategies that do seem to work and have a lot of good carryover and sustainability.
Oh, that makes sense. So you're the personal trainer and now you do everything online from what I understand. So are you finding that most people nutrition wise need the same type of nutrition? And so I guess how I'm trying to say this is a person that weighs 400 pounds versus a person that weighs 100 pounds. Obviously, their body is totally different, but the framework of a basic nutrition, do you find it being the same for both? Does that make sense how I'm saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. How individual does nutrition have to be? And I think that's a great question. But I also think that so individual nutritional strategies vary from person to person. Yours is different than mine.
Mhm.
Ours is both different from like a specific female, from a CrossFit athlete, from a triathlete, from someone who's just a soccer mom or works at a desk all day, doesn't train.
Mhm.
All those are going to be a little bit different. However, I firmly believe that the framework can be applied pretty consistently across the board. And the framework that I'm talking about is the $1 Million Body Method framework that I found is so effective for balancing energy and decreasing cravings. And so what's great about this is that if you like doing keto, you can do keto basically on the $1 Million Body Method. If you're vegan, you can do it. It's harder because I like a lot of protein. If you're doing paleo, if you're doing Whole30, if you're doing a Mediterranean diet or Atkins, you can do all those specific types of diets while applying the framework of the $1 Million Body Method. So it's just basically like a recipe. Apply the recipe to what you're doing, and you can fill in the blanks, fill in whatever foods you want or you like, or you have have synergy with, you're not allergic to them or whatever. But following the framework, because I'm not asking you to say hey, it's chicken and broccoli. And you're like, I hate broccoli. And I'm like, no, it's gotta be chicken and broccoli. What I'm asking people for is in the morning, having a protein and a fat. Okay. And
Mhm.
you got 50 different protein options. You got 50 different fat options, slide them in there. If you want shrimp and bacon in the morning, weird. Okay, no problem though. Do your thing. In the evening, I want protein, I want carbs, and I want vegetables. So if for you that's a can of sardines, some Captain Crunch cereal, and then beets. Again, that's so weird. Why are you doing that to yourself, Andrew? But also, it fits the framework. It fits the formula. So you can apply and add in different things that are good for you, that you enjoy, that you can obtain easily from wherever you're at. And you don't have to stress about I have to eat this way. I have to only eat these types of foods. You can fit in the things that you like and enjoy.
Interesting. So, okay, you mentioned you can have so much fat, and however you just phrase that. So, right away, at least the people I talk to, when they hear the word fat, so I can't eat fat, but there's good fat and then there's bad fat. So, what would you when somebody asks you that question, what would you tell them? What would you consider good fat?
I at the risk of being too complicated, I like, polyunsaturated fats. I like monounsaturated fats. I tend to stay away completely from trans fats, and then I'll have saturated fats in moderation. So saturated fats, that's like butter. That's like fat from animals, like the stuff you get on a steak.
Okay.
The monounsaturated fats, those are going to be healthy, like avocados, olive oil. I think fish oil falls in there as well. So just making sure that you're having the healthier types of fats and avoiding the fats that come from cooking with oil, vegetable oils, seed oils, because those are what's going to cause inflammation and can cause some issues even in your genes and in your cells. So we don't want those. So I feel like if it's meat, great. If it comes from vegetable source, great. And if it's nuts, great. And if it's oils, try to have avocado oil, olive oil, or coconut oil. It would be kind of the general rules.
Okay. Olive oil, coconut oil, and what was the other one?
Avocado oil. I like
Avocado
those.
oil. Where and I live in a small town in rural Indiana. No, not too much avocados here. Where would somebody find avocado oil?
I get mine at Costco, but you can also order it online.
Okay.
You can get. I bet you can even just get that stuff on Amazon.
Okay, because you live in Arizona, correct?
Correct.
Phoenix area.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So you said that earlier. So yeah, you have a bigger metropolis than mine. I have less than 5,000 people in my 20-mile areas radius here.
I think I got 5,000 people in this building.
Well, we're coming from whole different aspects here. So, all right, Nate. I know I'm coming up on the 30 minutes here. So, I have put in the comments already, and put this in the show notes for the podcast later on of how people can get in touch with you for a strategy session. That's topfitnessstrategies.com/Nate. So, what if somebody wanted to get with you on a strategy session? What can they expect for you to do on a strategy session?
They're gonna expect to answer a lot of questions. So generally, with a strategy session, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to determine where are you right now, where do you need to go, and then what's been that roadblock in the middle here that's keeping you from getting the results you're looking for. For some people, it's oh, I don't know exactly what to eat. Some people, it's I don't have time to meal prep. Some people, it's I don't know how to exercise. I don't know how to find like find time to do those sorts of things. So really it's just about like problem solving essentially. So having an outside set of eyes helping you problem solve for the physical or nutritional issues that have been plaguing you or keeping you from maintaining those results long term. And that's especially true if you've tried a lot of things and you've gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, which is a really frustrating process. So it's trying to get through maybe those things that have been holding you back and trying to figure out exactly what are those, like what's that one or two next steps that will help you move the needle.
Okay. All right. Now, and I just thought of this because I work with the folks that are over 50 years old. That's my main clientele, but I'll work with anybody, but that's who I focus on. I'm assuming you will work with anybody as well, but are you finding out, and I'm telling on myself here because I used to be one of these, a high school and college jock, that that I think I know everything, or I think I knew everything about health and fitness and nutrition because, I can, bench press 300 pounds, 400 pounds and eat McDonald's 20 times a day and still had the Greek god body guy. Now, 50 years old, I talked to some of my friends, the Greek body guy is no longer around and they still they can't bench 20 pounds, let alone 300 pounds. But when I talk to them, they still feel like, hey, I can still do that stuff. That's what I did in high school. How do you overcome that when you have somebody that is, I call them Mr. Macho or macho mentality that thinks they know everything about everything? I'm sure you've ran into that.
We have once or twice. When I was a personal trainer, I had a really fun strategy for solving that where I'd be like, what is called fuck around and find out. So where I would just basically just beat people into the ground and be like, you're so strong. All right, let's try these exercises out and see how you do. And when they're like, oh God, I'm like, all right, are you ready to try it my way now? Or do you want to keep it going like this, And so that worked out really well for me, like face to face. But right now what I do is I've grown a bit. I've matured slightly, small amounts. And what I do is I just ask people questions. That's kind of my main strategy when I'm coaching. I don't really because all the information that I know, Andrew, that it's on the internet, right? We're not like inventing something that's like earth shattering nutritional or training, like, oh my gosh, like the next, we're not winning any Nobel Peace Prizes. So like, if we're just trying to tell people stuff, they can find that out by themselves, or they're going to be like, let me think about it, take it into consideration, and then end up going with whatever they want to do anyways. So it has to be their idea. So most of the time I'll be like, okay, cool. Like you want to bench press? Like what do you want to bench press? They're like, well, I just like it. I feel strong at it. So like, okay, so you want to feel strong then, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, how does your shoulders feel when you bench press? Well, I got a little crunchy, I tore my labrum, blah, blah. Like, does that really make you feel strong when you feel like beat up for the next 4 days? Does that help? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, so does the exercise really matter then? As long as you feel strong, would you be open to trying some other stuff that made you feel the way you want to feel? And they're like, yeah, I'd be open to it. I'm like, okay, cool. Which one of these two would you rather try? The incline dumbbell bench press or a flat dumbbell bench press? So get to the root. What do they actually want? Because most of the time people will just want to like feel good, look good. They're trying to like relive their glory days. But if we can show them like, hey, you're not stepping on stage in a sparkly bikini, and you're probably not stepping on the powerlifting platform to try to deadlift, for a world record, right? If you're deadlifting, you're deadlifting 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and like you need to be feeling good afterwards. You can't be like so beat up that you can't play with your kids or pick I got a 1-year-old, like get down on the ground and stuff like that. So I'm not deadlifting because I'm not trying to deadlift. I'm trying to feel good. I'm trying to look good. I'm trying to, be around for my kids and have a ton of energy. So it doesn't serve my goals. So if we can just figure out what people's goals are, what do you specifically want to accomplish, and do some of these exercises play into those? If so, great. And if not, let's find the things that do serve you.
Fantastic. All right, Nate, our half hour is about up. Now, I have already posted all your links to everything that you've given me, all your social media. But if you want to go ahead and plug all your social media, how people can get in touch with you, about your book, about anything, go ahead and tell us about it.
Cool. So there's a couple different ways. If you wanted to like check in a little bit, what we could do is you could check me out on Instagram at $1 Million Body Method. I have a Facebook community that's pretty awesome called Lose Your Gut, Eat More Tacos, Never Track Calories.
Page again.
Lose your gut, eat more tacos, never track calories. So,
Okay.
hopefully if someone's searching one of those three things, they'll run into it.
There you go. And once again, if you want to get a strategy session with Nate, go to topfitnessstrategies.com/Nate. And how can they get a copy of your book?
If you want to grab it on Amazon, I got that'd be awesome. I got an ebook up there. You can grab the hard copy. If you want to just check out a Kindle version or a PDF, I'll just give that to your audience for free, Andrew. That's cool.
Oh, okay. That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
just send them to trainingsystems.com/book. And they can, I'll shoot you an email with a Kindle version and a PDF. You can pick which one you want.
okay. I appreciate that, Nate. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Once again, Nate Palmer, the author of $1 Million Body, and what was the other one?
Passport Fitness.
Passport Fitness, and it's been great. And as always, I'm going to ask this, and I'm going to reserve the right to have you on in the future again, if you don't mind. And I'm putting him on the spot here. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. And Nate, this has been fantastic. So once again, folks, Nate Palmer, check him out. All the social links, all the other links that are there for him. And Nate, any final words of wisdom?
Yeah, I feel like if you're here and you're listening to this and you're like, man, it's been a minute. I used to be in great shape, or I've tried a lot of things and it this seems to work. This doesn't seem to work. I can't sustain it. I just want to really encourage you that if you are on a fitness and health journey, that you can't lose at this, right? It's not like you have to have a ton of talent. Like you have to be in the NFL. It's not a meritocracy. With a fitness program, with a business program, with trying to increase your health, increase your financial success, whatever that looks like for you, both of those things, you can't lose at them if you don't quit. I might not be the smartest bulb in the shed, whatever. I don't even know how sayings work, but if you just keep failing forward, if you just keep trying new things, taking some curiosity, moving forward, even if it's slow, even if it's a 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you can't lose if you don't quit. You're always going to get the W. And so most of us think that, oh, 3 months, I didn't do it, I failed. You didn't fail. This is a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year game. Right. And if you just keep going slowly, your victory is already assured. You're going to get the results you want. You are going to win. Just keep going.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, once again, I want to thank my guest, Nate Palmer, for being here. This is Andrew, Top Fitness Strategies. Until next time, check me out. Oh, and if you want to get in touch with Nate and you didn't write anything down, feel free to send me a message, and of course I'll forward it on to Nate, so it's not a problem there. If you're listening to this on the car, keep your hands at 10 and 2 and be safe. All right. So until next time, this is Andrew and Nate. Thanks. Ciao.
Thank you, sir.